Okay, Mike, how you doing?
Oh, mate, I'm well. I'm in Auckland, New Zealand. I'm sitting in the sun just down the hill from Les Mills. We're not opening till tomorrow, but I'm just taking my kettlebells and some of my exercise equipment back in so I can get organised tomorrow. I'm pumped. It's a beautiful day.
I know exactly where you are in the park, just down the road from Les Mills, the mothership in Auckland, down the viaduct around that area.
That's the
Um,
one. That's the one.
it's just I remember it well. So everybody out there, this is Mike Huffam. I have known Mike Huffam now for over 20 years.
Yeah.
We've got a great story actually, and our relationship dates back to London, where I had a personal training business, and I worked a lot with Mike, and he was just one of those people that you work with, and everyone out there will know these sort of people that are he's super inquisitive. He was always asking why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? How does that help me? And before you know it, he becomes this coach that is just flourished into like just something big in New Zealand. You really are. You've created a big career out of this. So 2003, 2004, maybe earlier, we were hanging out in London and training, and now look at where you are.
Yeah, yeah. It's a good time. Richie and I met in 2000 in London,
Yeah.
and the first time I met him, I just want to pay homage to the man doing the interviewing first because we all come from somewhere, right? So um, I met Richie through another mutual friend of ours, Simon James, at a
Yeah.
wedding. And at the wedding, the speech, one of the very first things out of our mutual friend Simon's mouths was to thank his personal trainer. Now, that's the first time I've experienced something as personal as that. And I was like, damn, I have to meet this guy. And I sat my first certification in 1998. And so I asked Richie if I could come along and get under his wing and learn some stuff. And I did. And Richie was the one who taught me or instilled a value in me that I still hold to this day about how to look after your client. And I mean, like, really love your clients, not just treat them like a cash cow. Like, I don't look at people with the dollar signs. It's I have a motto, and it's loving my people back to wellness. And I learned that off you, fine sir. So thank you very much for that.
Hold on, I love that. Loving my people back to wellness.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
So Mike Huffam, he left London, went back to New Zealand, where he's taken up with Les Mills at their mothership, which is a massive club in downtown Auckland, where it all began, all the programming and fitness that they're famous for. But since then, he has won New Zealand personal trainer twice in 2005.
2005 and then again in 2007.
2007. I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And since then, you've gone on to with a passion in kettlebell training, gone on to start your own academy. You have lectured or taught or educated around the world, particularly in Asia, and which we'll touch on in a second. And you've gone
Yep.
on to compete in CrossFit, and if my notes serve me correct, in 2016, you won gold in the Masters Pan Pacific Games. And
Yeah, that's right.
2017, 26th in the world.
Yeah, I mean, as a child in New Zealand is massive in rugby, and so from ages 4 till about 20, I played rugby.
Yeah.
Every little boy's dream is if they're playing rugby is to become an All Black, the best team in the world. And at about 18, I was 5'7" and about 60 kilos, so I'm 85 at the moment. And I was small, and I thought I need to get to the gym and get a bit stronger. And then I took a year off rugby, and when I went back, I was only average, and I didn't really enjoy getting the Sunday, Monday bruises and so forth. So I gave that up, and that's how I fell in love with the exercise game. Now, for those into CrossFit, you can't be very, very good at one thing.
Yeah.
You have to be good across the board. And
Yeah.
so I loved the challenge of it. It's Olympic lifting, it's gymnastics. You have to be fit, and probably my proudest sporting achievement, bar none, to stand on the dais and get the gold medal around your head, and then the focus was still to get to the games. So next year, the top 20 of masters in the age groups go to the games, and I finished the Open in world for my age group, which is also an extremely proud moment. And I gave it my best, and I didn't get to the games, but that's okay because I gave it my best. So I'm real happy.
So, Mike, where did this passion with CrossFit start?
Yeah, the passion for CrossFit started was, I guess, 2007. A lady approached me. She was a sprinter for New Zealand in her teenage years. She went away and had a family and wanted to come back and compete again as a master. And so I hadn't trained a sprinter. And so this is kind of this is where the kettlebell story comes to. I found a website, and the trainer of Alison Felix, who's the most decorated American female sprinter, one of his main tools for her strength program was kettlebell. So I quickly started doing kettlebell movements with a dumbbell because that far back, kettlebells weren't for sale in New Zealand. And so I kind of instantly enjoyed the full body movement, but also the high intensity aspect of it. So, and that's exactly what CrossFit is high intensity, full body movements. So that's where my passion started.
And and since then you've created a career. You've created a business out of coaching people with kettlebells, but also you've built your own educational platform. Tell me a bit more about the education certification that you've created.
Yeah, so after falling in love with the kettlebell movements in about at the end of 2008, a guy had the first lot of kettlebells for sale in New Zealand. In 2009, I got Steve Cotter down here from America, who was originally part of the RKC kettlebell platform. And so he did the sports style of kettlebell lifting, and then there's the hard style. So I flew to St. Paul, Minneapolis in 2011 to learn that side of things. And then right there and then I decided that one day I wanted to put my own certification together because no one was doing it in New Zealand. There's only one other certification in New Zealand doing it now. I started my international presenting debut in Gold's Gym in 2012, and then been to China 2015, 2018, 2019. So I started my Master Kettlebell Academy. So on Instagram, it's at Master Kettlebell Academy. In 2017. And then last year, so level 1 and 2 is pretty much the same as RKC and Strong First do, but I differentiate myself when I go to level 3. It's kettlebell therapy and rehabilitation. So I use kettlebell exercises to rehabilitate people. And I debuted that in Hong Kong in September last year, right after presenting in Beijing at a big fitness expo there too. So it's great. I love it,
And so you're really responsible for a large part of the kettlebell movement in New Zealand. I mean, it's you've always had this passion for it. And I love it. And you've created an academy, and you're doing educations in Asia, which I think is great. Are you taking this online? So I'm here in the US. Are you going to build this out online?
Yeah. So great question. What COVID-19 has done for me is allowed me to step back from my business and actually look at where I need to go, but also more importantly, where I want to go. And where I want to go is, I've had lots of people ask me, do you do stuff online? So on my website at the moment, masterkettlebellacademy.com, are all my level 1 moves on there. So you can buy the individual videos.
Cool.
And so I'm going to start filming my level 2 stuff and put that up there. I'm also going to put, I've started a YouTube channel in the downtime as well. And so I'm going to load an exercise library onto YouTube, which is just going to be available for anybody. And then I'm also going to start doing kettlebell workouts. But I'm still going to use the traditional kettlebell moves because I'm a traditionalist at heart. I've got no problem with the people doing the kettlebell flows and so forth. But my niche, I want to stick to the traditional stuff, but also use sort of body movement. Think traditional kettlebell swing with some kind of animal flow movements. It's kind of that style of, So the future for me is probably going to be 80 to 90% of stuff online and producing content.
Yep.
because I think that's where the big gap in the market is. And it excites me. I've been in the game since my first certification was 1998, so I've been in the game a long time, and I'm still excited about it. And that's where I can see the future going.
Yeah, I mean, you tend to soak up information, and that's something that I love about the coaches and instructors and fitness leaders that I'm talking to, and you all have something in common. Is just no one's saying, "Hey, I know enough." There's always something out there, and you're super entrepreneurial. Which I think is
Look,
good.
I think the older I get, the more knowledge I want to learn. I still want to grow. I still love learning. I have always had a perception of I'll go and do lots of courses, and I'll take what I like from people. I'll take what works from people, and I'll just leave the rest. I don't want to be tunnel visioned and say this is the only way. My vision is to have my own vision as wide, cast the net wide, and soak up as much knowledge as possible, and then come back and deliver that information in a way that suits me and what I deliver to the people.
I love that. Mike, what drives you? What gets you out of bed in the morning? To have this passion and love for what you're doing. We are just talking about this before. Your first clients are at 5:30 in the morning most days of the week. That's not easy.
No, it's not. It's a great question. But what drives me, in all honesty, is I got two sons. They will be 11 next month and 13 in August. And I think the world needs role models and male role models. So I want my boys to grow up knowing that their dad, he worked hard. He looked after his people. He inspired us. Look, I've just turned 49, and I consider myself to be in bloody good shape for 49. Yeah. Better than most 49-year-olds. And I want the boys to look at that and go, he worked hard. He was enthusiastic and loved what he did. Like, I love fitness. One of my sons is Sport Billy, and the other one's musical and creative. But they both know that dad exercises and looks after his people, and that's what gets me out of bed from an internal perspective. And then it's seeing the beauty of my clients. It might just be their confidence come out. It may be someone who loses 10 kilo. I think for a long time I wanted to be the guy that had all the sports stars, and that's all well and good. Look, I helped rehabilitate Ali Williams from the 2011 All Black team that won the World Cup. He had Achilles and shoulder reconstruction, and I used my kettlebell skills to help him get on the field, and he fulfilled his dream of winning the World Cup, which is awesome. But I get more out of just your everyday person, like I say, like filling with confidence, recovering from a little niggle, getting them back running around the park with their children. That's the stuff that drives me. And yes, we get paid as trainers and coaches, but you can't buy that feeling. And like I say, one of the first things I said to you, I want my clients to know that they were loved back to wellness by me. So that when I sit down and meet them for the first time, if I spend, 10 to 15 minutes, I haven't done my job in my sales pitch. By the end of that meeting, which is normally at least an hour, they know that the guy they're talking to, me, is going, they are going to walk away feeling the love from me. And that's the key to success. Look, I've got clients that are, I've had them since day one in Les Mills. So 17-year clients that I've had, and I see them a couple of times a week. So you got to be doing something right to do that. And that something right is coming from a place deep down inside. And, it's the love. That's the key to success.
Yeah, I mean, being a coach, you're making that connection, and you're really taking people from one place to another, which is the definition of a coach.
Yep, exactly.
It's best. So, Mike, you had a birthday last week. You turned 49. You are the fittest 49-year-old I know, hands down. You are. You're super fit, guys. If you're trailing his Instagram pages, you'll see how fit he is. He really is. He is pretty fit. Here's a question for you. What advice? You're 49 now. What advice would you give to your younger self?
Wow, great question. What advice would I give? I think it would be to be more open to learning early.
Yes.
So what I said before about taking bits of the people that I have seen now, and I take what I like and worked and leave the rest. I got a little bit tunnel vision. So in the late 90s, as you'll remember, Paul Check was massive in cable crossovers and Swiss balls, and I did his scientific core, scientific back, program design, and I was just like, wow, Paul Check's, his way is the only way, and sort of the Charles Poliquin people sort of go down the same route, and then you'll get the same people across the board. And I think I would have arrived at the same place as I am now and learned about taking more information globally, and I probably would have got there earlier. But, and not to contradict what I just said, had I not done what I had done, I probably wouldn't be in this place right now. So when people say, would you change this? And I'm going to say no. Like I gave up drinking in January 2016 because it wasn't providing me with anything positive. It wasn't showing my sons what it was. It wasn't their fault if dad was hungover on the side of the sports field. I was still watching them play rugby and soccer and so forth, but I wasn't 100% present. So I wouldn't be here today as I am, complete as I am now, had I not made those mistakes and done those things along the way. So a couple of different sides to that question, but I would have been more open to my earlier self, but I'm real happy with where I am right now. I'm extremely content. I'm extremely grateful for people, and I still love what I do. And that's if you don't love what you do, you're not going to have the passion. People aren't going to feel your passion, and you're probably not going to be as successful as you could be. So, team, if you're out there listening, anybody in the world, find your niche in the fitness world. And I say, go an inch wide, but go a mile deep. Specialize, because what gets you out of bed in the morning is what gets you out of bed in the morning. And if you can express that passion onto your people, you will build your own tribe, and the world will be a much better place. So,
it's exactly why I thought of you pretty much immediately when I put this project together. And you're a coach, you're an educator. I mean, you're a connector. You connect people. You're an influencer, and so I just really appreciate everything you do for many people. You're making a difference. Continue to do it. And I think, as we come out of this phase, New Zealand's coming out of lockdown now. You're heading back into the club to work for your first day. I just think, there's just so much opportunity for health and fitness and well-being, mental health and mindset. That this isn't going away, and we need your skills more than ever.
Thanks, Rich. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here. You inspired me back in 2000. We keep in touch. You still inspire me in 2020. May we keep inspiring each other until 2030 and 2040. And look, for people watching, it's been a hard time right now. Some people will look at this in a negative way, but man, I'm looking at this as the biggest opportunity of my career is right now. It's like, wow, what do people need? People need people like me and people like you to keep inspiring each other. Put your stuff out there, get it out there to the masses. The opportunity is massive, man. The fitness realm will never be the same pre-COVID-19 as it will be post. We'll look back in 20 years from now, and COVID-19 will be the change that was probably needed in the fitness community, man. I'm so excited. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, we've got a new road ahead of us, the new normal, whatever that is. But what we do is going to be at the forefront of people's minds. They want to keep healthy, they want to keep fit, and I think that's super important, Mike. And so I appreciate you, pal. And thanks for everything. Enjoy that New Zealand sun. I'm super jealous, sir.
Thank you. We've had a splendid Indian summer. We're heading into the colder season, but days like today, look what we got here. We got blue skies. We've got trees. I'm next to the skate park. It's a beautiful time. Thanks, Rich.
Oh,
love you, brother. Keep up the great work.
Thanks, Mike. Cheers, pal. Bye.